Good morning everyone. Myself Madhusmita Biswar. Today we will going to start a new chapter, that is flow irrigation. So in this chapter we will be reading one by one all of these articles. First, that is canal irrigation, types of canals, different components of irrigation canal and their functions, classifications of the canals according to the alignment, canal lining and its types, advantages and disadvantages of the canal lining. So we'll be reading one by one all of these articles. So first, what do you mean by canal? All of us have been seen the canal while we are going in the road. We have all been seen a canal. So a canal is defined as an artificial channel constructed on the ground to carry the water from a river or another canal or a reservoir to the fields. Okay, so a canal is defined as an artificial channel constructed on the ground to carry the water from a river or another canal or a reservoir to the fields. Okay, you have seen while we are moving on the road or while we are traveling on the road, we can see the canals on the right side or the left side. Okay, and it is full of water which has been carried out from the river or another canal or any reservoir. Okay, so what are the types of canals? So first, that is based on the source of supply. So based on the source of supply, there are two types of canal, that is permanent canal and inertigation canal. So in the permanent canal, continuous source of water supply, it is called as perennial canals, we can say it as. But in inertigation canal, it draws its suppliers from a river only during the high stages of the river. Okay. Next, we'll be reading about based on the functions. First, there are four types of canal that we'll be reading on these functions. First is irrigation canals. Irrigation canals means which carries the water from its source to the agricultural fields. This is known as irrigation canal. Next, that is navigation canal. Navigation canal means it is mainly used for the transportation of the roads. We can say transportation of the, also we can say it as transportation of the goods. Okay. So next, that is power canal. Power canal means it is used to carry out the water for the generation of hydroelectricity. Okay. So next, that is feeder canal. Feeder canal means it feeds two or more canals. Okay. So this is based on the functions, that is irrigation canal that we usually carry it from the sources, that is source. I have already discussed you what do you mean by source, that is the river, lake, reservoir, ponds to the agricultural fields. Next, that is navigation canal which is mainly used by the ship. Okay, we can say that it is mainly used for the transportation of the goods or any of the services or any of the materials. Next is power canal. It is mainly used to carry out the water for the generation of the hydroelectricity. Next, that is feeder canal. This canal mainly feeds two or more canals equally. Okay. Next, we'll be reading about based on the alignment. So you can see the diagram of the based on the alignment here. Okay. So there are two types of based on the alignment undergoing on: watershed canal or the ridge canal. Next one is the contoured canal. And next one is side slope canal. There are three types of canal which is based on the alignment, and these questions arises on every semesters. So watershed canal, that is known as ridge canal. The dividing ridge canal between the catchment area of the two streams, that is known as drains, is called as watershed or ridge canal. Thus between the two major streams, there is the main watershed ridge line which divides the drainage area of the two streams. The canal which is aligned along any natural watershed ridge line is called a watershed canal or a ridge canal. Aligning a canal, main canal or branch canal or distributary on the ridge ensures the gravity irrigation on the both sides of the canal. Since the drainage flows away from the ridge, no drainage can cross a canal aligned on the ridge. Thus, a canal aligned on the watershed saves the cost of the construction of the cross drainage work. So this is about the watershed canal, or we can say it as a ridge canal. Next, we'll be reading about contour canal. This is the diagram of contour canal you can see here. This is the main river going on and this is the contour canal which is shaded in the black. Okay. So what do you mean by contour canal? Watershed along the ridge line are not found economically in the hilly areas. In hills, the river flows in the valley well below the watershed. In fact, the ridge line watershed may be hundreds of meters above the river. It therefore becomes virtually impossible to take the canal on the top of such higher ridge line. In such conditions, contour canals are usually constructed. A contour canal irrigates only on one side because the area on the other side is higher. Okay. So here in the watershed canal, it can irrigate on the both the sides. Okay. You can irrigate on the left side or we can irrigate on the right side also. But in the contour canal, it only can irrigate on one side and it will be the other side will be higher position. Okay. And in this contour canal, this river or this ridge line are mainly found in the hilly areas. Okay. So next, that is side slope canal. Side slope canal is that which is aligned at the right angles to the contours, that is along the side slopes. Since such a canal runs parallel to the natural drainage flow, it usually does not intercept the drainage channels, thus avoiding the construction of the cross drainage structure. It is the canal which is aligned roughly at the right angle to contours of the country but not on the watershed or the valley. Okay. So in the side slope canal, which is mainly aligned at the right angles to the contours, that is along the side slopes, since such a canal runs parallel to the natural drainage flow, it does not intercept the drainage channels and it mainly irrigates on the one side also. This side slope canal irrigates. Next, that is, we'll be reading about based on the discharge. There are 4 types of based on the discharge. First is main canal, branch canal, major distributary, minor distributary. Okay. So what do you mean by main canal? Main canal takes off directly from the specimen side of where headwards or the dams. Usually no direct cultivation is proposed. So in the main canal, it mainly divides the canal into branch canal, major distributary and minor distributary. And this canal mainly takes off directly from the upstream side of the weir headworks or any dam. Next, that is branch canal. All of takes from the main canal with the head discharge of 14 to 15 cubic and above are termed as branch canals. It also acts as feeder channel for the major distributaries. Next, that is major distributary. All of takes from the main canal or branch canal with the head discharge from 0.25 to 15 cubic are termed as major distributaries. Okay. Next, that is minor distributary. All of takes taking off from a major distributary carrying the discharge less than 0.25 cubic are termed as minor distributaries. Okay. So next we'll be reading about based on the lining provided or not. Okay. So what do you mean by lining? You can see here, this is the unlined canal. You can see this is not properly lined and this is the lined canal. You can see here. Okay. Unlined canal, this one, this image is the lined canal. So based on the line, there are 2 types. First is unlined canal. Beds on the banks made up of natural soil. Water velocities higher than 0.7 meter per second are not tolerable. High seepage and conveyance water losses, profuse growth of aquatic weeds retards the flow. Okay. Next is lining of canal. Lining of impervious material on its beds and banks to prevent the seepage of water. Different types of lining used, for example, concrete, brick or burnt clay, tile, boulder, etc. So this goes under the line canal. Okay. So you can see here, this is the line canal. This is the impervious material made up of, and it's mainly these beds are prevented to seepage of the water, and this mainly of a lining made up of concrete, brick or any type of a material that we can use. And this is the unlined canal. This is mainly used in the type of a soil, clay soil, sandy soil, alluvium soil. Okay. So this is all about this. In the next slide, we will be studying about cross section of the irrigation canal. Thank you.